there was just a lot of fierceness all along, like one time, this injury that I just got surgery for, actually, I had a mountain biking accident and tibia plateau fracture, and I went up and I was in a wheelchair on that retreat, and he's like, "You asked for this." And I was like,
Wow.
"What?" And a lot of people got mad about that, but he's like, he goes like, everything, that happens to you, you're bringing it to, you're asking for this, and you're, I don't know, it was just an interesting moment where he just pointed out I wasn't a victim of anything, right?
Well, I mean, and that also points to this idea of forces at work, which are beyond our understanding, including our own unconscious. And I spoke with one individual, and he was like telling me, no, qualify that as benevolent forces at work, which are beyond our understanding, to bring us things, and like just the mystery of this existence, and how we so often just, it could be in, this was my reality for so long, is just like taking, like, this is it, like this, whatever I saw, just like, you know that was reality. And then learning, and then seeing enough, having enough experiences where, like, the things, giving more credence to stuff which is beyond normal, average, ordinary, everyday, experience and awareness, like synchronicities, or, like us, like, what is it that draws certain experiences? Or Eckhart Tolle says, if two people get in a car accident, it's their pain bodies that brought them together. It's
Sure,
it's
sure.
like, wow, what is going on here?
Well, of course. Well, I've been working with a new teacher, who's really accessible one-on-one, because it's hard with Ajay, he's so inaccessible, and I kind of need I need extra help with one-on-ones. And he talks about, I think he's fully awake like Ajay, and he talks about
Who's
how
this?
he's nowhere, you can't find him anywhere. His name's David Thomas. He's a 33-year-old African American guy. He
Cool.
only has one thing online, and it's that Buddha at the gas pump interview, Rick Archer. But it's a long story how I ended up working with him. But he keeps emphasizing that everything is one thing, and you
Yeah.
and I only think we had the idea that we're a separate self, but it's all one thing interacting and awakening together, almost like the way DNA intertwines, Todd. Like we're all waking up together and it's all one awakening. And Aja points to this and talks about this too. But it's nothing is separate at all. So like you and I talking is influenced by like a million things colliding as one, as this one fabric. And so David and I have been talking a lot about just that whole thing. And then he keeps also talking about how nothing is happening. And that's a really hard one to work with. But he's like, look, when you really look at this life as the dream state, so think about in a sleeping dream. In a sleeping dream, you never move. All this stuff happens, but there's just one you, and you never move, right? And when you wake up, you go, oh, wow, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, this whole thing happened, but nothing happened, right? And he says that our, existence right now, we're being dreamed by the source, the awakeness itself. And when we wake up, we see nothing happened. We never moved from the bed of the absolute. And the one thing, that we're always just this one thing, having a dream of mind. So it's, I don't know, that kind of hopefully ties into what you were saying about how, of course, it's all one thing, because if you and I are both being dreamed by the same awakeness, then It's very trippy. And it, David jokes, he says, you're going to vanish. When you really get this, there's only one thing, that Todd erases, Todd vanishes. And you just return as then you're just the source, dreaming the character you, dreaming the character me, like whatever is dreaming you is dreaming me right now. And when we know that as who we are, then of course that's just one awakening, right? And the trippy thing is, I saw in the last few months working with David, is that your character in the dream can't awaken any more than a character in a sleeping dream could be enlightened. I've been trying to awaken my character all these years, and I just saw how funny that was. And the one dreaming the wholeness is already complete, and awakening doesn't even apply.